Dasha mentioned that poll just crossing from the Des Moines Register. Former President Trump has the highest favorability rate among Iowa Republicans at 80%. These are candidates and potential candidates. Governor DeSantis, though, right behind him at 74%, though with a lower unfavorable number. Former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley, who has done 2 tours of Iowa so far, still the least known candidate, with 40% still unsure about her. So neck and neck there, Jonathan Lemire, in terms of favorability between former President Trump and Governor DeSantis. Donald Trump's favorability, people who say they definitely would vote for him if he were the nominee, has slipped pretty significantly over the last year and a half or so. But what do you see at first blush in those numbers?
Well, this poll is probably the best one we've seen for actually Governor DeSantis in a couple of weeks now, where it does feel like Trump's got some momentum. And of course, we should, of course, put the caveat: it's very, very, very early. So we don't need to be. So we take these numbers appropriately, measure of skepticism. But DeSantis, has been trailing Trump in most polls that we've seen the last couple of weeks. It does feel like Trump, now that his campaign has really begun in earnest, the CPAC speech, and so on, that he has sort of claimed the mantle of the pretty clear favorite in the Republican Party. But if you're Governor DeSantis and, you feel like you have momentum coming off of the rout in his reelection bid last year, Fox News has given him a lot of coverage, most of it favorable. You feel like you've got some momentum, Rev. So how do you see it here, though? Because in terms of Governor DeSantis, there is this great unknown. How is he going to be portrayed on the national stage? It's one thing to do it in a green room in Washington. It's one thing to do it in the State House in Tallahassee when the state legislature bends to your every whim. But we haven't really seen him out there that much across the country. How is he going to sell himself to voters? What challenges do you see?
The challenge is that he is now going on a big stage, not just a local statewide stage where a lot of what he is represented will be received differently by a broader audience. His whole anti-woke, anti-LGBTQ, anti-parts of black history being taught, what he's done in terms of COVID-19 and testing and vaccination. On a big stage with a broader audience, he will not only have a cheering squad. The other thing we are going to have to look for is, can he take a real fight? He is going to go up against Donald Trump, who loves a fight. I mean, you get the best out of Trump, whatever that is. People like me think it's the worst. But for what Trump does, he's at his best when he's in a fight. He needs a fight to really come alive. And he will clobber DeSantis with everything and then some. Can DeSantis take that and dish it back? And I think this is going to be some of the things that we don't know. If we were going to dinner with DeSantis, we're only at the appetizing order stage. We're not even near the main dish.
We're not even near the meatball stage quite yet.
I see it. I see
Not
it.
bad, right? We were there. Yeah, I mean, Willie, look, all of that's right. I think, there's still questions. The Trump people that I speak to still seem pretty confident that when it comes to a one-on-one, DeSantis would get destroyed by Trump on a debate stage, and that the problems that DeSantis has as a public speaker are still there. He can still be awkward. He's not particularly personable. They think that Trump can use all of that to his advantage. And that's the reason that DeSantis is not taking Trump on yet. There is no advantage yet to DeSantis going head-to-head against Trump. He wants to get Trump's voters. He doesn't want to alienate Donald Trump. But at some point, they know it's going to have to come to a clash between these two people. And it's really going to be played out on those debate stages. And that's where the American public is going to get their chance to see these two men in action against each other and have their chance to decide which of them they won. And the Trump people seem pretty confident at the moment that that all plays to their advantage.
He's definitely, DeSantis, the candidate that has the Trump campaign's attention the most, but they also feel good about their chances head-to-head with him. By the way, Caddy, meatballs can make a great appetizer. You just get the little 3 with the basil leaf dropped in there, a little parm on top. So we could start with the meatballs, is all I'm saying. So. Eugene Robinson, let me ask you a little bit more about this Des Moines Register poll that just crossed. The pollster, the great legendary Ann Seltzer, said Iowa's no sure thing for Donald Trump was basically the way she boiled it down. The number of people in Iowa, Republicans, who say I definitely would vote for him if he were the nominee is down pretty significantly. And as we showed in those numbers, just in terms of favorability, Ron DeSantis is pretty close to where the former president is.
Yeah, he is, and that's, I think, because Iowa Republicans have heard a lot of good things about DeSantis from Fox News, which has been pretty positive in its coverage, and you know, he won a big victory in Florida last year, and so this is his moment to come forward, and so we'll see how he plays in Iowa, how he plays away from Florida. I have a question about his seeming sort of humorlessness. I wonder if that's going to wear well, but then again, maybe it will. Maybe that's something. Maybe maybe he can sort of develop a persona that is not off-putting and that has some warmth to it, which people genuinely like or generally like. But you know, one thing we should keep in mind is that Donald Trump is never going to just kind of quietly go away. And so if the idea is that DeSantis could come in and even win Iowa and then sort of cruise ahead, I'd say think again, because Trump is just going to fight tooth and nail to the bitter end.
Scorched earth, without question.